Basketball.
It's time to strap in and get ready. The Insight NBA team is in the arena, bringing you the ultimate play-by-play on who's hot and who's not to help you win your leagues and dominate your mates. You're now hooping with your hosts, Matty G, Skitty, and Melly for the Insight NBA show.
G'day everyone, welcome to the Insight NBA show. This is the must-add show. It is Week 18 matchup something or other in ESPN. It's Fantraxy. It's all over the place. It's kicking off in the US Monday, the 24th of February. We're going to get down to it straight away. We've missed the Sunday, Monday back-to-back. Don't worry, the Hornets are in your dial straight away. They do have that Monday and Tuesday back-to-back set. Before you start to look at the Celtics, Rockets, Spurs, and Raptors, now this is the thing. Now, I mentioned this on the preview show, but the schedule this week is a bit of a streaming delight for a couple of days, but we do hit that big roadblock 10-game Friday coming up later on. So we have a couple of easy days on the 8 and the 7. This is where the Hornets are a good play. You've got 16 teams or 14 teams respectively having a bit of a crack. And these guys you can run through. Now, we also know that Mark Williams isn't playing on Monday. So this is Moussa Diabate territory, who was dropped after some lackluster performances. Nurkic not picked up all the way. We're going to have a little bit of a talk about them tonight because they are a team who has been doing very, very well. But there's one more team I am going to drop on you in this episode that has been a bit of a fantasy goldmine. Goldmine seems really just a lot to say, but there's been one team that has been giving us a whole bunch of success, and I will touch on them right now because they have the best schedule of the fantasy week based on the course of their opponents. It's the Portland Trail Blazers. These guys, look, they've gone through the injuries, they've gone through the fire, but we've managed to get a whole bunch of ads out of them over the course of this fantasy year. Now, there's been some ups and downs, of course, because they are the Portland Trail Blazers and we shouldn't be over the moon ecstatic with them. But when we look at them for this week, it's based on their opponents who could really, really give some favors for you with these guys. I'm talking guys like you've got, and they're off, and I'll show you through these guys, but they've got the Jazz, tick, playing against those guys. Wizards, oh, hello, tick. And the Nets. Now, these have a great start off to the week, so you can use them, burn them on the radar, and then get them down. But I actually think there's a little bit of sustainability going on with this roster. And you know what? Let's have a look at these Portland Trail Blazers guys again, because we can absolutely get that burn off them. Now, I'm going to share with what I've got here, because for me, I think they have been running absolutely hot, especially Denny Advia as well of late. Denny Advia has been playing really, really well. I dropped him in a league. And of course, the rule of thumb there is if Matty's dropped them, well, they're probably going to be someone you want to pick up. Let's have a look at this. This is their ownership across Yahoo leagues. Now, you can see it right here that the guys here are 91% rostered. Anthony Simons and DeAndre Ayton, who you know is out for a long time to come. He is 89%. Now, Denny Advia has swung up on this one to 76% ownership. He's just teetered it on. So this is a guy who's maybe looking right about now. If you have a look at his averages on the season, he's probably looking at 15, 6, and 3. He's been playing well lately. He had some downtimes, but he's come back, and I picked up Pods. It was either him or Pods. I went with Pods in the short term and to also free up that roster spot. But it kind of really challenged me when I saw Denny Advia out there. So he has been great and 76% owned. Jeremy Grant, we never know what we're going to get from out of him. Big 4 steal game the other day from Jeremy Grant. Probably rostered in your league at 72%. But this is where the gold mine starts to open up with guys who should be in rosters in your leagues. In Yahoo, and this is, by the way, this is like the World Cup Philippines versus international team. So all these are analysts. And you can see here that analysts are using these guys in their league. There's Kingy here. There's Ball Boys International, Mitch Casey. There's a good friends, Fantasy Basketball International. There's Fantasy Basketball Bible. There's Three Arrows, our homie Papi Roy. But look at this ownership here from Jeremy Grant down. And this is by rostered order on Yahoo. Tumoni Kamara, who has been brilliant this season. He's like the Dyson Daniels light, and he has been bringing it quite a lot lately offensively as well. He is only 40% rostered. Check out this by Kamara. And he's been knocking it down lately. Look at these past 3 performances from him. He has gone up 3% as he deserves, but Kingy has had this guy. You look at here. He's been updated he's just updated eligibility. Kingy added him back in October and has not looked back. And this is a 16-team deep league. But look at this risk and game log for Timoni Kamara. He has been absolutely brilliant. We'll look at his stats in a second over the last couple of weeks, but look at this here. The steals are sexy. The low turnovers are really attractive. But almost these 2 double-double games here with the threes and the offense clicking, he's not going to be this hot all the time. And if you check over his season stats in the last 2 weeks, he has flown up to be the 12th ranked player according to Yahoo. That's insane. Perfect from the free throw line, 588%, 2.5 threes, 14.5 points, 6.3 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 2.3 steals, and 1.5 blocks. It's juicy. It's absolutely juicy. We love it. I do have the juicy soundbite somewhere. I should probably get that. I should probably bring that out for such a performance by Timoni Kamara because he has been absolutely brilliant for these guys. Wait a second. I do have not tonight one. We haven't used it. Here we go.
Barbecue.
Exactly. He has been setting the world on fire, and this is a guy we want to bring onto our roster. So for me, this is one of the gold mines, as well as Advia. Now, he's creeped up, as you can see, there to 76%. He has not gone up or down over the last couple of days. He's been hovering around this. So I'm thinking he's probably worth a team. In some 12-teamers, he could be available. He is definitely an ad in 12-team leagues, 100% at this point. So if you haven't got him on your roster, be trolling around for Advia first, and then we're going to make our way. I definitely think Kamara is the ad here as well. But now let's talk about this guy. I've got him because I need a few points and peripherals, and he's been adding them. Shaden Sharp, I picked him up as one of these very late point scoring guys that I needed. Now, his inefficiencies are always going to be there, but the assists for him have been nice. There's the 7s and the 5s. The 3s in spades, like the last 2 games, the 4 and 3, after going that spate of only 1 3s a game for 3 games there, but before hitting another 3, is very, very nice. And if you see his season stats, it's coming into this season. It's improved since Aiton's gone down. They've needed him. He's a top 150 player in the last 2 weeks. He's a top 120 player in the last week on these averages of over at least 2.5 threes a game. But it's really hard to get points off the wire in this amount of stock. And with a friendly schedule for them to begin the week, this is why we are looking at the Portland Trail Blazers. This is the shocking thing. It's the Donovan Clingan and the Scoot Hendersons of the world. These silly season heroes that we think are going to be up. And this is the thing. We saw these 2 monster efforts from Clingan, and this is what I was afraid of initially. People clamor to the wire with him. It's gone. His minutes have gone down. He's gone from that 31 and the 21 minutes after Aiton goes down. Everyone went nuts for him. And then he's come back with 6 and 6 after the All-Star break and 8 and 5. And with this, managers are getting fed up. Like, what is he? I only got him for the double-doubles, and he's done this. And the blocks are still there in one of them, 3 a game. Cool. And then they just tossed him away. He is down 2% ownership in Yahoo leagues to 36% roster ability over the past 24 hours. This means we're having a look at him, especially if we need a big man. There's another big man we'll talk about very, very soon in the pod who we could get some use out of. But Donovan Clingan is an ad there. Robert Williams as well. He's in and out of the lineup, down 1% on the last day. Look, this is what he does. He'll come in and he'll flirt dangerously with you at the bar and be like, come on, guys, put me on the roster. Come on. In 25 minutes, I'm going to give you field goal percentage, going to give you some block shots, solid things, and then he goes away for a couple games. This is the full Time Lord experience right now. This is why he is only 6% rostered. He's gone down 1 in the past 24 hours. And this guy, Scoot Henderson, last couple of games have been respectable enough. 308 from the field. Yeah, that's about Scoot territory there. But the 571 the last game, with no turnovers, that's very usable for a point guard late. The 5 assists, and he has been playing reasonably well, Scoot Henderson. I know that Kingy and D-Mac had these guys on their radar at the end of it on both of those shows, and you can see why. In the last month, he has been, this is a wild ride for Scoot Henderson value-wise. 89 overall in the last month, according to Yahoo. Now, this isn't hashtag basketball or basketball monster rankings, and it's a mix of category and points leagues, and they smush it together. But even to be ballpark top 100 for Scoot the last month, yeah, that's respectable. But then he goes away in the last two, and it's down to 211. And then he comes back and plays a couple games, and he looks decent again. And the percentage, you can still see 400 over the last 2 weeks in the last week. If this gets up to that 450, 470, 480, especially if we're punting field goal percentage, he's even more of an attractive ad. He's definitely an attractive ad in points leagues. And we've got some points league guys, but this is a team that is really looking good to get a bit of juice out of in this one. And if we have a look at the transaction trends in the last 24 hours as well, in Australia, it's just gone that time where people start to add up. And this is what I love looking at the rosters. We can go by the ad straight away. And this is the first bloke we want to feature. There's two guys I want to talk about right now in the transaction trends. One is Mitchell Robinson. He has been back practicing with the team in the New York Knicks. He is rumored to be coming back over their road trip. Now, we haven't seen him. Look at him there. Doesn't he look like a big fella, Mitchy Robinson? Jeez. If this is a recent shot, he is a big man in the middle for the New York Knicks. Now, we know his field goal percentage is great. We know the rebounds are going to be there. We know the block shots are going to be there. It is what Mitch Rob does, and the big fella is on the way back, and it is definitely worth a check. I wonder if I could do this straight away. Just look, this is the thing to do. Now, I'm not saying you should do this because I've already made an ad for one of these guys in a league, but you can just do a cheeky one of these ones. If you do this in your ad, and if you've never done this before, you just click them down here. Now, I've got guys you can see. I am a walking wounded, and I'm doing this live on the pod. We don't have any more IR. Currently, I've got Randall, who's on his way back this week, and Anthony Davis his way back into the lineup, hopefully in a couple of weeks after evaluation and some ramp up. I have no one else that I'm looking at here to get it. I could probably let Derrick Jones Jr. go, but I want to get that first game out of the week. Naismith, Dosunmu's injured. Do I let go? This is a 16-team league. Daughter's available for me. But if in your league you want to get there, Mitch Rob is an ad you want to be making and stashing straight away if you can get him. If not, fine. See who's going to run it out there in your league first, because you know what? It's going to be happening soon that people are adding him. This is the same story for one Jonathan Kuminga. Now, what is his role going to be coming back into this team? I don't know. Pods has been playing really, really well. He's 77% owned. He's already stashed in a lot of leagues. He's clicked up 1% for those who own him. And you can see him right here. He isn't owned by anyone. And this is a very tantalizing ad for me. Now, we know Victor Wembanyama, the other guy who's here with the most percent ownership, people are adding him, trying to stash him in case he makes a miracle comeback, even though they've said he's out for the season. But this is a guy, and this is in an industry league, who has been dropped because people want wins at this time of the year. Now, Jonathan Kuminga on the season has not been as great as we wanted to. We expected him to hopefully be a top-ish 100-esque player. Oh, has he just gone off the radar immediately while doing the show? Has someone literally added him while we're talking about him? Here we go. From the injuries? No, so no one's added him. Where did he just go to? Oh, where's the decimation continuing here for the cut bucket? Here we go, Jonathan Kuminga. Here you are, Jonathan. We all wanted this top 100 vibe for him. Jimmy Butler's come to town. We know that. Now, apparently the word is that he's working with him behind the scenes, and he could be making his way this lineup very good. He hasn't played in over a month. I'm not sure there. Now, I think he takes some of those Moses Moody minutes. I think he bumps into some Pods minutes, but he's been dropped, and he's just been dropped. He's got a couple more days on the waivers, and this is a guy that I'm going to, you know what? I'll put a claim in. I'll see where I am. I'm not going to show who I'm doing it because if anyone in the industry pickup league is bloody watching it, I'm not going to get them over this one. But this is a guy that we're going to add. And if he's in your league and if he's just sitting around there, this is where you're starting to ramp up. Do it now. He's already jumped up 1%. And this is 332 ads in the space of about an hour and 42 minutes in Australia. The US is sleeping. People are going to wake up and they're going to start to add these guys ASAP. So we need to have a look at those dudes that we want to be adding, like the Jonathan Kumingas, and throw them onto our roster, and losing our best player and stashing them again, like Mitch Rob, especially if we have an IR or 2 IR spots, because that's where they make the absolute most sense for us. Let's get down to some of the other guys that I want to, for the week, to focus on before I give you some of my absolute streams of the list. Went through Mitch Robb before. Good on for him. This is a guy, for points leagues especially, who's gone up 9% in the last day. I've added him in a couple of leagues. He has been on a little bit of a tear, and it's been across the board as well. Now, the only blemish on his last 3 games here, where he has been averaging over 25 minutes, which for me is a great fantasy threshold. If you can roll someone out there over 25 minutes since this Wembanyama injury, he's picked up a bunch of those minutes, and he's doing something with them. Now, the defense isn't there, and we'd love to see this from Keldon Johnson. We know that he's had that before. The dual eligibility is nice between the guards, a shooting guard spot, so the guard spot and the forward spot. That's nice. A little bit of rotational advantage for us. But look at this. He has been going so well. In the last 3 games, he's averaging basically 20 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.7 threes on 77 field goal percentage. 77%. This is nuts. Like, this is really good from Keldon Johnson, who has basically played out of it. And in the last week, he's moved himself into their rankings as the 83rd player because of this in the last 3 games. So you give me someone who was only 26% rostered, again, up 9% in the last 24 hours, and this is including the ads who've just been made across all leagues since the new windows opened up, since it's gone like midnight on the west coast of America. This is a guy who you want to be adding, especially in points leagues. If you're in a points leagues, this is a dude you just drop your worst player and you pick him up immediately. You get Keldon Johnson from the San Antonio Spurs into your lineup. Just like you want to get onto your standard squeeze. I'm wearing some of their apparel on my back right now. And this year, in 2025, you just need to use the promo code FS 2025 for 15% off your order. That's all your great camping gear, your portable travelers, your camping by the fireside gear. Get onto standardsqueeze.com.au. Their link is down below in our bio. As well, you want to get onto our latest batch of fantasy apparel. I heart fantasy hoops, and all the cool kids are doing it. The products are down here beneath my face. I'm over on this side, so they're down there. See, I can even point to the right space now. And the link is in the bio of like the Spotify, if you're in that one, or your Apple. And while you're there, just make sure you like and subscribe to all of the things, as well as get involved in our Patreon. So again, pick up Keldon Johnson. That's one of my other big ad guys of the week, as well as going through all of those Trailblazers dudes. The other guy that I've got here is Anthony Black. Now, this guy has been playing pretty well. And a 27-minute pathway in the last game as something that's sustainable. Now, this is the thing with Anthony Black. He's only 5% roster, and I'm watching this because we heard this week that Jalen Suggs, that they've got a plan for him. We just don't know what it is, all right? So we've got Franz Wagner. We know he's like one of the big guys in the team. Paolo Banchero, great. You know, we're not long to have the Cole Anthony experience the whole time. But for me, this guy has a little bit of flash ability. Now, if we're looking for these point guard spots, and this is what I like about him. He's not just doing the point guard things for the point guard shooting guard. His assists are down. But what I like about Anthony Black, and what I think that this is a guy that we want to be looking to add, especially in deeper leagues, is when he's playing these games of over 24, 30 minutes, and he's getting the buckets, we're getting the threes from him. He's spacing the floor. The rebounds from him have been nice. I've really enjoyed this, but it's the steals as well that he's chipping in. He's averaging basically a steal a game, apart from obviously the Memphis game where he didn't get one, but the twos more than make up for that. So he's a guy who is averaging over a steal a game, and he has been in the last 2 weeks the 115th best player. 500 overall. And it looks inconsistent with his field goal percentage, but he's still averaging 500. That's helpful. About 700 from the line in the last 2 weeks, 778 in the last one, 1.3 points. But again, the 11 points, the 5 rebounds, the 2.6, 1.7 assists is there. The steal. But the other nice little thing that he's doing is he's getting a block a game. And that's something that not all of your point guards get. 1, none, 2, and 2. So there was a spate where they really need to push him on defense after going a long time without one. But this is something that I think he could really continue to ramp up if he is averaging this 25 to 30 minutes a game. And you can see around here that he's getting this is beneficial in 34 minutes. You want more out of him. You want him to take more than 6 shots a game in 34 minutes. But with Franz and Paolo, it can be hard. And this is where he is used very much as a floor spreader in this team. But I like him. I've been asked, Matty, what's a guy who might be available in like my 12-teamer? Anthony Black is a guy who's more going to be available because a lot of the guys we talk about are fringy around the 12s, definitely maybe not available in 14. If you can get him in a 14-teamer, 16-teamer, 100% bring him in because you know there's not going to be many other guys as good as this out there in the lineups. Another guy who I'm really enjoying in the last couple of weeks, and he is only 2% rostered. He was basically 0% rostered, was Trendon Watford. This guy has been great. Now, D'Angelo Russell has been sidelined. We saw him playing down the stretch the other day. We know that Clowney is still out. Dayron Sharp is playing well. They're still rolling Claxton out. But this guy was playing incredibly well against the Philadelphia 76ers the other day. And you saw him pretty much putting up a great start line in that 2-point win the other day. Plus 500 from the field, 2 from 3 from the line hurt, 16 points, only 1 rebound. We would like a couple more rebounds from Trendon Watford, but the 6 assists right here was good. I think this guy has a really good run right now with a little few minutes. And you can see here that in his last couple of weeks, he's been a top 125 player. I think especially this week, while we're waiting for the return of Noah Clowney, that we can look for him in deeper leagues to add us a little bit more value. Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson's also been getting minutes around here. So the Brooklyn Nets are one of these other fringy teams right now. Before it goes up, we've mentioned Dayron Sharp before. Here's an ad. We've noticed stashing Noah Clowney. See where that goes until he comes back. That's one of these other guys. But Trendon Watford has pretty much been the next man up in Brooklyn right now. So he's a guy that we're looking to bring in and get onto our rosters as well. My other one in the leagues, and this is a guy who it's gone under the radar, I think, how good Kevin Porter Jr. has been in the Milwaukee Bucks. He has been a little spitfire, little spitfire plane engine. The guy has been a flamethrower off the bench for them, and not from the three-point line. Just a spark plug energy-wise on the court. He's bringing it on defense. He is distributing. He is getting out there in unlimited minutes as well. This is the really curious thing. Apart from that debut game, which wasn't much for us to take any notice of, look at the last 4 games in the minutes here. 22, 15, 23, and 13 and a half. And in 13 and a half minutes, he took 7 shots, 3 from 4 from the line, 11 points. Again, and he hasn't scored a 3 in the last 3 games. So don't go thinking that him some like flamethrower as in he's going to go and get you like 3 or 4 threes a game. You can see that's not his bag, baby. But what you can see is the 11 points, the 3 rebounds, the two assists, and the 2 steals. And in 23 minutes, 3 steals. And in 15 minutes, a steal. And 22 minutes, a steal. So these fringy things that we need to bring into our team, which can be really hard when we're competing against the guys like Dyson Daniels out there, the Timoni Kamaras. These guys are just getting steals in bunches. This guy has been playing really, really well. And in fact, he's been a top 150 player in the last 2 weeks, according to Yahoo, top 130 player in the past week on 583. So he is scoring well. He's scoring with excellent field goal efficiency. The free throw efficiency is 800. We love that. 12 points a game, 2 rebounds, 2.3 assists, and 2 steals a game. And the turnovers are minimal at 1 a game. And this is a guy who is not being used that much. He is only 3% rostered as well. So KPJ, absolutely for me, in my mind, is an ad right now. And this is the big one. This is I should play the soundbite. There's a soundbite for my targets of the week. Here we go.
Targets acquired.
Yeah, look, these are my targets of the week acquired. I was going to mention these in the show the other day, but we've just gone down to this one. In Atlanta, guys, we're getting some minutes and we can look to for a bit of usage. Gorgeous Niang, or I like to call it Gorgeous Niang, and Karis LeVert. Najee Marshall and Kessler Edwards in Dallas getting minutes as well as Prosper there, obviously with the backup. We saw that roll out today again in the game against the Golden State Warriors. In the Golden State Warriors, we are looking for Buddy Hield, Moses Moody, and Pods to get a little bit of a run, especially with their back end of this week. We do like the Golden State Warriors with their schedule and what we could get there. There is some benefit to running some Warriors out there in our schedule for this week because these guys all play on those low volume days of the Thursday and Saturday. So this is where the guys like the Hornets, the Mavericks, the Warriors, and the Bucks as well, hello KPJ, really do get that flow for us. The other guys we're looking for right here, again, with the Hornets this week having that kind of schedule, we are definitely looking to get our Hornets into our lineup. So we're bringing in whichever Hornet we need. And there are a ton of Hornets players that we can get a little bit of burnout of, again, depending on what those needs are. Nick Smith Jr. will be a primary beneficiary here. Like we said, Musa Diabate or Nurkic with Mark Williams. He's out the Monday game. He'll play the Tuesday game. So we bring Diabate in the Monday. We saw him pretty much get relegated really deep down, unfortunately, after the All-Star break, after having a bit of flash in this trade kerfuffle with the Lakers all rolled out there. We think we'll see more of him down the season. So he's kind of like just a bit of a stashy guy right about now. So let's see what we can do with him. These are the guys that we're looking to pick up and bring into it from them. We've also got like Saloon. We've got Joshy Green. We've got the other Curry. We're not going to call him. We'll call him Seth. Let's call him Seth Curry. That is his name. Also, Alfred Payton, as I said, these are all the guys from the Charlotte Hornets that we can bring into our lineup. They have the 4-game schedule of this week. And the great thing about the Charlotte Hornets, like I mentioned in the weekly preview show, is that they wrap up the schedule. They play 3 games in 4 nights. We get them on the Saturday. We can drop them off and we can turn this one ad. We can get them for 3 games and 4 nights to start off the week. We can get all 4 games thereafter. We can clear the deck with these guys by the time we need them on the Saturday, open up the spot to really challenge on the Sunday, and then we can roll it into someone to finish up the week and start strong in the next week, because we can do that this week with any player from the Heat, the Thunder, the Trailblazers, like we mentioned earlier. This is why I love the Trailblazers, guys, and the Utah Jazz. This is the Inside NBA Show. I'm Matty G. Make sure you like and subscribe for all of the things. I'll catch you soon. Be well. Take care.